Hidden stories of the Crusades. Imagine a time long, long ago, when knights in shining armor rode horses into faraway lands. But what if the history books only told us part of the story? What if ancient secrets, hidden for centuries, waited beneath the desert sands, secrets that could change everything we thought we knew about those brave, dangerous times? Our story starts with a boy named Alara. He wasn't a knight or a king. He was just a young man living in a small village nestled among rocky hills, not far from the big city of Jerusalem, many hundreds of years ago. Alara had kind eyes and a curious mind. He loved to listen to the whispers of the wind through the old olive trees, imagining all the stories they must have seen. His village was peaceful, but everyone knew the world outside was full of noise and war. Knights from far-off lands, called crusaders, had come to these holy lands, and their battles often shook the ground. Alara lived with his grandmother, an old woman named Zahara. Her face was a map of wrinkles, each one a story etched by time. Zahara was different from other villagers. She often spoke in riddles and had a knowing look in her deep-set eyes. People respected her, but also kept a little distance, sensing there was something ancient and powerful about her. She taught Alara about herbs and plants, and about listening to the quiet voices of the world. One hot, dusty afternoon, Alara was helping Zahara gather herbs near an old, crumbling wall. The sun beat down, making the air shimmer. Suddenly, Zahara stopped. Her hand shot out, grabbing Alara's arm with surprising strength. Her eyes were wide, staring at something beyond the wall. Alara looked, but saw only dry bushes and shimmering air. "The time is close, little one," Zahara whispered, her voice raspy. The whispers are growing louder. The veil thins. Alara didn't fully understand. He often didn't, but he felt a shiver run down his spine. Zahara often spoke like this, talking about whispers and veils. He just thought it was old age, or maybe old wisdom. That evening, a rider arrived in their village. He was a crusader knight, but not like the ones Alara usually saw. This knight, Sir Kale, rode a tired horse and wore dusty, dented armor. His face was grim and tired, not proud and strong. He asked for Zahara, by name. This surprised everyone. How did a crusader know Zahara? Zahara greeted Sir Kale with a strange calmness, as if she had been expecting him. They spoke in low tones, in a language Alara didn't understand, a mix of old words and hushed whispers. Alara watched from a distance, his heart beating a little faster. He caught glimpses of maps being unfolded, and saw Sir Kale point to a spot far out in the desert, a place known for its dangerous heat and ancient ruins. The next morning, Zahara announced she was leaving. She would go with Sir Kale. Alara was shocked. "Grandmother, no. The desert is dangerous." "And with a crusader," he pleaded. Zahara smiled, a gentle, sad smile. "Some journeys must be made, Alara, and some secrets must be found, before they are lost forever. You are ready to know more." She pressed a small, smooth stone into his hand. It was warm, like it held a tiny fire. "This stone will guide you, when the time comes. It sings with the truth." Then, with a last hug, she rode off with Sir Kale, leaving Alara alone, watching their figures shrink against the vast, empty horizon. He felt a deep ache in his chest, a mix of fear and a strange excitement. Days turned into weeks. Alara missed Zahara terribly. The village felt emptier without her quiet wisdom. He held the stone often, feeling its warmth. One night, a fierce sandstorm rolled in, like a giant angry beast. The wind howled, sand whipped through the air, scratching at the houses. Alara huddled indoors, terrified. When the storm finally passed, morning broke with a strange, eerie quiet. The world was blanketed in a fine layer of sand. Alara stepped outside, blinking in the pale sunlight. He looked towards the desert, towards the direction Zahara had gone. That's when he saw it. A glint, far off, barely visible. It looked like metal. He knew, somehow, it was a sign. He felt the stone in his hand grow hot, pulsating. It was almost burning. This was his grandmother's sign. He had to go. Alara gathered a small bag of water and dried fruit. He didn't tell anyone. He just left, following the strange pull of the stone, walking towards the glint in the desert. The sun was already climbing high, turning the sand golden. The desert was much bigger and scarier than he had imagined. Every dune looked the same. The heat pressed down on him, but the stone in his hand guided him, pulling him in a steady direction. He walked for hours, feeling his skin bake, his throat dry. He saw ancient tracks of animals, but no signs of people. He worried about Zahara. What if she was in danger? Finally, as the sun began to dip towards the horizon, painting the sky in fiery orange and purple, Alara saw it. A strange shape, half buried in the sand. It was a metal shield, a crusader shield, with a cross etched upon it, and next to it, a small, simple wooden staff. Zahara's staff. His heart leaped into his throat. He ran, stumbled, and fell. There, half covered by fresh sand, was a small, hidden entrance. It looked like a crack in a large rock formation, barely wide enough for a person. It had been uncovered by the sandstorm. The glint he saw was not the shield, but a small metal symbol carved into the rock above the opening. The stone in his hand vibrated wildly now. This was it. Ilara squeezed through the narrow opening. Inside, the air was cool and still, like a long-held breath. It smelled of dust and old earth. He lit a small torch he had brought, and its flickering light showed him a narrow passage leading downwards. He could hear a faint, strange humming sound. His fear mixed with a powerful urge to explore. He walked deeper, the passage spiraling down. The humming grew louder, a low, constant thrum. Then, the passage opened into a large, hidden chamber. Ilara gasped. This was not like any cave he had ever seen. The walls were smooth, carved with symbols he didn't recognize. And in the center, a huge, glowing object. It was a giant crystal, bigger than Ilara himself, pulsing with a soft, blue light. It was the source of the humming. Around it, he saw figures, not alive, but carved into the rock, like statues. They wore robes and looked different from anyone he knew. They looked ancient, wise, and then he saw them. Zahara and Sir Kale. They were both standing near the crystal, looking at the ancient carvings. Zahara looked strong, her eyes fixed on a specific symbol on the wall. Sir Kale looked less like a warrior and more like a scholar, carefully tracing lines with his finger. They hadn't seen him yet. Ilara stayed hidden, his heart pounding a frantic drum solo. He watched as Zahara pointed to a carving, a symbol shaped like a star with many points, surrounded by a circle. She spoke in her strange, old language, and Sir Kale listened intently. He seemed to understand. Then, Sir Kale placed his hand on a specific spot on the wall, near the star symbol. A low rumble started. The whole chamber shook. Ilara watched in awe and terror. A section of the wall slowly slid open, revealing another, smaller room. Inside, bathed in the blue light of the main crystal, was a collection of objects. Not gold or jewels, but strange tools, ancient scrolls, and what looked like a chest made of a dark, unknown metal. Zahara and Sir Kale stepped into the new room. Ilara crept closer, careful not to make a sound. He saw Zahara carefully open one of the scrolls. Her eyes scanned the ancient writing. A look of deep understanding, and a little sadness, crossed her face. She motioned to Sir Kale. The truth, Zahara said, her voice clear and strong, though still in that old language. It is all here. The true purpose. Ilara strained to listen, trying to make sense of the few words he recognized. The star heart. The reason for their journey. Not conquest, but protection. Sir Kale nodded slowly. He looked tired, but his eyes shone with a new light. For so long, the stories have been twisted. The history books wrong. They sought not to take, but to keep safe. He picked up a small, intricately carved box from the chest. It was made of the same dark metal. Zahara looked at the box. The key to the veil. It opens not a door, but a path of understanding. It shows the connection. She turned, and her eyes met Ilara's. He froze. She had known he was there all along. A gentle smile touched her lip. Come, my curious one. The time is now. You are part of this story. Ilara stepped out from his hiding place, feeling a little embarrassed, but mostly amazed. He looked at the giant crystal, then at the strange object. Grandmother, what is all this? He whispered, his voice shaking slightly. Zahara walked to him, taking his hand. This, Ilara, is a place of power. This crystal, the star heart, was left here by ancient ones, long, long before any of us. It is a source of knowledge, a way to see beyond what our eyes normally see. The Crusades, as they are known, began with a different mission for some. She looked at Sir Kale. Many knights came here for land, for glory, for their faith. But a select few, a secret order, knew of this place. They were not here to fight for Jerusalem in the way the world believed. They were here to guard it, to guard the star heart, and the knowledge it holds. Sir Kale added, our ancestors, a hidden brotherhood within the Crusaders, learned of this place from wise local guardians, like Zahara's own family. They formed a pact. The world saw war, but a secret war was fought to protect this chamber from those who would misuse its power. He pointed to some of the ancient tools. These were used to connect with the crystal, to understand its messages, to see glimpses of truth. Zahara opened one of the ancient scrolls. It was covered in drawings of stars, constellations, and what looked like pathways between them. The ancient ones who built this place, they were travelers of the cosmos. They left this star heart as a beacon, a way to share knowledge across vast distances, to show that all life is connected, that there is more to the universe than our small earth. Ilara stared at the scroll, his mind struggling to grasp it all. Travelers, from the stars, like the stories of the night sky? Precisely, Zahara said, her eyes twinkling. The legends retell, the myths, they are often echoes of truth. This chamber, this star heart, it was a bridge. It showed them how to live in peace, how to understand the rhythms of the world, how to heal. Sir Kale held up the dark metal box. But some, in every age, seek power for themselves. They would want this knowledge to control, not to help. Our secret order of crusaders was formed to prevent that, to ensure that this star heart and its wisdom remained hidden, protected. He looked sad. Many died, fighting battles that the history books record as religious wars, but for some, the true fight was here, in the shadows. Zahara nodded. My family has been guardians for generations, passing down the knowledge of this place, waiting for the right moment. The sandstorm, it was not just a storm. It was a sign. The star heart called. It felt a change coming. A time when its message might be needed again. A message of peace? Ilara asked. A message of connection, Zahara corrected gently. That we are all part of something larger. That our differences are small when seen from the perspective of the stars. The wars, the fighting, they are born from forgetting this truth. Sir Kale opened the dark metal box. Inside, it was empty. But then, as he held it towards the glowing crystal, a faint light began to shimmer inside the box. It grew brighter, shaping itself into a miniature, swirling galaxy. Ilara gasped. It was like holding a tiny piece of the night sky. This is the key, Sir Kale explained. It doesn't open a lock. It connects. It shows the path between worlds, between understandings. It holds the echoes of the ancient traveler's journey. Zahara put her hand on Ilara's shoulder. My family guarded the location. Sir Kale's order guarded against those who would seek to exploit it. Two different peoples, two different faiths, united by a single, secret purpose. This is the hidden story of the Crusades, Ilara. Not just a clash of empires, but a silent, shared guardianship of something sacred. Ilara looked from the glowing box to the huge crystal, then to his grandmother's wise face. He thought of all the history lessons he'd heard, all the tales of heroes and villains, of conquest and glory. None of them mentioned this. None of them mentioned the shared secret, the joint effort of people from different worlds, protecting a cosmic truth. But why keep it secret, grandmother? He asked. Why not tell everyone about the star heart? About the peace? Zahara sighed, a sound like rustling dry leaves. Because, little one, not everyone is ready for such truth. The world was, and still is, full of fear and anger. Some truths are too big, too powerful, for people who are not ready to hear them. They would twist it, use it for their own gain. The star heart's power is too great to fall into greedy hands. Sir Kale nodded grimly. We saw it happen before. Small glimpses of this knowledge, misused, led to terrible destruction. Our orders learned the hard way. Secrecy was the only protection for the star heart, and for humanity. So, what now? Ilara asked, feeling the weight of this incredible secret. What are you going to do? Zahara looked at him with love in her eyes. We continue to guard. But the key, Ilara, it has been waiting for someone. Someone with a pure heart, a mind open to wonder. I believe it is you. You will be the new guardian of the key, and of this secret. Ilara's eyes widened. Him, a simple village boy? Me? But I don't know anything about stars or ancient travelers. You know how to listen, Zahara said gently. You know how to wonder. You see beyond the surface. That is what is needed. The key will guide you, as the stone guided you here. It will speak to your heart. She handed the dark metal box, now softly glowing, to Ilara. It felt warm and surprisingly light in his hands. As Ilara held the box, the miniature galaxy inside pulsed, and a strange calm filled him. He felt a connection, not just to the box, but to everything around him. To the ancient chamber, to the giant crystal, to his grandmother, to Sir Kale, and even to the vast, silent desert outside. Sir Kale then spoke, his voice filled with a different kind of respect. My Crusader order, or what remains of it, has dwindled. The world has changed. Our paths are becoming harder to maintain. But the knowledge of this chamber and its purpose must not die. It must pass to the next generation. A generation perhaps ready to carry its truth into a new era. He looked at Zahara. My people believe it is time for the two lines of guardians to fully merge, for the ancient wisdom of the land and the secret keepers from afar to unite in purpose, openly. Zahara smiled. Indeed, the veil thins, Ilara. The world is changing. It is learning, slowly. Perhaps one day, the truth of the star heart will not need to be a secret. Perhaps one day, all of humanity will be ready to understand its message of cosmic connection and peace. Ilara looked down at the glowing box in his hands. He was just a boy, but he held a secret that could rewrite history, a truth that could heal the world. He was now a part of the hidden stories of the Crusades, a story not of war, but of a quiet, shared hope, passed down through time. He knew his life would never be the same. His journey had just truly begun. He had to learn to protect this secret, to understand its power, and to wait for the day when the world would be ready to hear the true whispers of the stars. He looked at the giant crystal, still humming its low, steady song, and for the first time, he felt like he truly belonged to something ancient and magnificent. He was the guardian of a hidden legacy, a cosmic truth veiled in the dust of history, waiting for its moment to shine. And he knew, deep in his heart, that this was the most important story of all.